2 requirements to systemize your business so you can run a scalable and profitable company. Look, welcome into today's episode. I've had to pivot a little bit off my usual device. Why is that? Well, let's begin here. This here is a laptop that my daughter has been using extensively to play Roblox on. Yes, if you have a 8-year-old daughter, you may be concerned to find that there is a Squid Game version of Roblox, and this is obviously a little bit daunting. But welcome to the technological miracle of a world that we live in, that you can watch this presentation live from me, but also have your children have some risks. Like, let's not mess around here. I mean, my daughter has not seen Squid Games, but there have been episodes on all of the social media stuff, from what I understand. It is of a little bit risky concern that is out there. But nonetheless, let's pivot away from that and come to the interesting topic. What are the 2 things that you need to build a truly successful systems-centered business? Now, I took that sentence from this book here, Systemology by David Jennings. Very interesting, and I got to say I'm 100% in agreement here. He says that the 2 things that you need are, in no particular order, systems management software and project management software. Now, this is not particularly common knowledge as far as I'm aware. And what I wanted to share with you is that if you are upgrading to a project management system, if you're like, you know what, we're going to get Asana, we're going to get ClickUp, we're going to get Monday, then at that same time, I would encourage you to consider your options for the systems management software. This could be something like Process Street, Trainual, or System Hub. But the reason for that is that while you can operate with a project management system and a document, where the system's documents where they're stored in Dropbox or Drive, if you are having the problems in your business that require a project management system, then you also need to strongly consider the systems for the software for managing the systems also needs to be managed. Like, you really should get both of those at the same time. You should get Asana and Trainual, or you should get Monday and System Hub. Whatever the combination is, you can have any combination of project management with systems software, but you do need both. Why? Well, what you might not appreciate is that the project management system is very powerful for allowing you to control who sees what. So that if you have a lot going on in your business, that you don't need your entire team to see everything. They just need to see their particular responsibilities. Now, that is the same with your documentation. People may not need to see every system document or process document in the business. And the software that does that will enable you to limit that and say, hey, you only need to see this part that's related to marketing if you're in marketing, or you only need to see this part in finance if you're in the finance department. And so it mirrors up. You've got your project management software that limits what they can see to just their roles. And also on the other side, you have the systems management software that shows them what the documentation for that is. Now, ideally, you have a connection between the 2. So on the project management, the links to the relevant process documentation is easy to find. Why do you want this? Well, it's a lot like Lego. When Lego is trying to be done without the instructions, it's really hard. It's really, really, really hard, but it's actually really easy if you have the instructions. Ideally, you have all the Lego pieces, you have the instructions, piece, voila. After a certain amount of time, the Lego model will be accurately built. This is the same with your business. You already have a lot of systems being done. What you do not have, it's highly likely, is that you don't either have them documented, so there's been no attempt to document, or you've documented and they're not getting used. That is one of the more frustrating problems in business. If you've actually gone to the effort of documenting stuff and then you're like, man, no one's using it, that is a demoralizing experience. And this is something that I would recommend, that this is the true problem that you are trying to solve. Like, how do you get your team to use the instructions? I would suggest that you want to have that link right there in your project management software to take them across to the systems management software so that they can use it. As I said though, the problem that you are trying to solve with your project management software also requires you to consider the systems management software, and this is commonly not done. Like ideally, all of those project management systems companies, Monday, Asana, and ClickUp should be saying, hey, have you thought about systems documentation software? But they don't. And so their teams that are using these tools struggle. They're like, man, why doesn't it work? I thought that the project management software would solve all these problems, but it doesn't. Why? Because it's managing the flow of the work, not the instructions. The systems documentation software is managing the instructions, but not the flow. If you have both of these, now you have what is possible for you, which is you can have a business that works and all the systems are documented. So suddenly you are free. You are no longer having to tell your team what to do. Now you are able to say, hey, use the systems. We're going to deploy the systems. And this is how this plays out. When you make this jump, suddenly you are no longer managing your people, but you are managing by systems. Your work gets done by the systems and your people have the instructions, so they don't even need to ask you anymore. You're like, hey, have you looked at the instructions? And they might come back and say, hey, there are no instructions, in which case it's like, oh, okay, we need to work on that. But in the case where you have well-defined systems with well-documented instructions, they should be able to do that work just by copying the requirements for what needs to be done. This is powerful. This is a key to increase productivity, fewer errors, and finally time back for you, back with your family, back even just to be able to go on holiday for a weekend, a week, or even a month. You get this stuff on point, suddenly there is a freedom that comes back to you. Why? Because you're no longer the bottleneck in your business. If you want to know how to do this, if you need some help with one or more systems for your business, then head over to Systemio.dev. Love to help you out with how to do this successfully. Get you up and running with your first system. You're like, oh, wow, I'm having the breakthrough. I can see how the work gets done by my team without you having to tell them what to do. This is the power of systems, and it creates results. Thanks for tuning in today. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode. I'm going to go and try and retrieve my phone. This was an experimentation with the laptop, but it's okay. I'm not stoked by it. But next time, we'll try and get my phone back. All right, see you then.